Nolan's the one piling the... Oh, another one!
Only 1% of fighters in the world could withstand the thunderous strike that crashed against his head. Yet Bayramgor Susurkayev stood tall. That was the moment I realized this man was cut from championship cloth. He was not just a competitor, but a warrior willing to risk everything for victory. Across the cage stood Eric Nolan, a man defined by raw knockout power. His last 3 fights ended with his opponent sprawled unconscious on the canvas. He was a brawler by nature, a man who thrived in wild exchanges. From the opening bell, fists and kicks thundered like cannons. Nolan pressed forward, slinging heavy hooks, testing Susurkayev's chin. Bayramgor answered in kind. Sharp counters, crisp jabs, punishing kicks that echoed across the arena. For a moment, it looked like 2 predators circling the same prey, both refusing to back down. Nolan's strikes were lightning fast, like electric shocks that left his opponent stunned. His fists landed like sledgehammers, and most of them found their mark with brutal precision. Yet Bayramgor refused to give in. He kept working with relentless low kicks, which in the second round started to turn the tide in his favor. At one tense moment, Nolan delivered a crushing left hand that landed flush on Bayramgor's jaw. It seemed like the fight was about to end in a knockout, but Bayramgor stayed composed. He immediately shot for a takedown to avoid being finished. On the ground, he took control and rained down a storm of heavy punches. Nolan tried to rise back to his feet, but Bayramgor gave him no room to breathe. In a sudden burst, Susurkayev slammed his opponent onto the canvas in a style reminiscent of Chimaev, showcasing raw, unrestrained power. When the fighter stood up again, Susurkayev charged forward like a beast, unloading a series of devastating strikes that shook Nolan to his core and forced him backward. Then came the scare. In a dangerous exchange, Susurkayev lingered a fraction too long inside the pocket. Nolan's fist crashed against his temple, sending shockwaves through the cage. The crowd gasped as Bayramgor's legs buckled. For a heartbeat, it seemed the hunter had become the hunted. Nolan smelled blood and stormed forward, throwing reckless bombs, desperate to finish what he had started. But Susurkayev was no ordinary prey. With ice in his veins, he turned danger into deception. Staggering back just enough to bait his rival in, he waited for the perfect opening. And when Nolan lunged, Susurkayev struck, a vicious low kick that slammed into his opponent's leg, buckling it instantly. Nolan faltered, his balance destroyed, his aggression punished. Seizing the moment, Bayramgor dragged the fight to the mat. From above, he rained down strikes, each one breaking the American's will. Then with seamless precision, he slid his arm under the neck, locking in a suffocating choke. Nolan thrashed, clawing for escape, but there was no way out. The tap came quickly. 2 fights in 4 days, 2 finishes, 1 undeniable message. Bayramgor Susurkayev was not just chasing greatness, he was already walking in its shadow.